everybody, welcome back to another episode of something new. Welcome to this war of mine, a wonderful survival game that we are diving into that I think you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy. But as we are diving into this, I want to say huge thank you to Discord for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. You guys can actually go ahead and get this game along with a huge library of 75 plus game titles for $9.99 a month from Discord Nitro over at the very tippity top of the description. An absolute steal of a deal because Nitro subscribers get $1,000 worth of games with this service, with new content getting dropped every single month and these games being available worldwide. So go ahead, look into it. We have some survival to go ahead and to begin with. So if you guys want to see more of this, let me know by that like button and saying so down below. Not to mention sticking around and most important of all, have yourselves an absolute fantastic day. So we shall begin our journey in this war of mine to survive the harshes and struggles of this war-ravaged city that we find ourselves in the midst of. How long has this siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day is a struggle for survival. The city is crawling with snipers. Shelling is ordinary business almost every night. Phones don't work. There's a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. There's almost apocalyptic type scenario that's gonna involve us making tough decisions, going out on raids, looting things up, trying to potentially steal from others, as we must do everything we can to get the supplies to survive and potentially the weapons to thrive. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends. So when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pavle while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Pogoren's star football player. Now he's just another homeless victim of war. So they teamed up, hoping for the best. And this is the shelter that we shall be calling our own. Over here, you guys can see the fridge, which is actually where we could store some of our loot, and specifically the food loot. And we could have some jazz over there. You guys can see that we could also, we have all of their cards over here in the bottom right-hand corner, along with a little bit of info on them. We can see that Pavle is actually a fast runner. We could also give all of these different dudes tasks and make sure that they are doing something. Like, for example, here we could send this guy to the bench, and this is actually where we could go through crafting a little bit, such as making, if we get the proper supplies, some potentially very valuable items over here, such as the bed, which will help us sleep and hopefully make us more well rested, the chair, which gives us a place to sit, a simple heater, which is going to be very important once winter starts kicking in, because that's something we do need to worry about. Potentially the radio, which helps us keep our eyes out for the whatchamacallit, for the weather and all that's coming. We can even collect rainwater through there. We have a metal workshop, a little bit of a better workshop we can make, a moonshine still, and I believe moonshine is actually very worthwhile, and we can barter for it with traders as those guys come along. A crude stove, which could be good for cooking up some things. A filter, a homemade single-use filter to purify rainwater, which is something we might need to look into, so getting some of those supplies through some raids will be good, because every single night we can have a loot run as well. But before each loot run, we have kind of what's going on over here, which is kind of all of us doing our own thing. And hey, already we are getting some things. There you guys can see we actually got a lockpick, which will let us open a door at some point, along with some of these materials that I was talking about, as we are actually looting through some of these areas and clearing out some of this scrap. Oh, the door is actually locked down there. Hey, we got some more stuff too, including what appears to be some water, which is very nice, because water and food are going to be two very important resources for us as we continue trying to survive. This guy might be able to pick this lock, honestly, so should we be using our lockpick already? YOLO, we're using it. Hopefully it buffs out, and just there's a lot of multitasking we can do, because this is our shelter, this is our home. Ultimately, we want to be able to like defend this and stuff, because this is where we store all of our loot. I believe we could even get more survivors. We sometimes need to be careful though, because the survivors do not always have our best interests in mind, and sometimes they just try to chill with us with the sole goal in mind of oh god dang it, that door is locked. Well, that's not good. Let's go and get you looting that. With the sole interest of themselves in mind, they could potentially even, okay, so they got to clear this rubble. Can you help clear that rubble? Make that quicker? No? Okay, well, I'm trying to just kind of multitask here and be as efficient as possible and have these guys looting up as much stuff as possible, so we hopefully get as much as we can get. But Bruno over here is a good cook. Pavle is a fast runner, and Marco a skilled scavenger, and these are all different things that will kind of apply. So for example, with this guy over here being a good cook, once we can get a fire or a stove and we can actually start cooking up some food, he should be very valuable to us, and he should actually give us better returns on the food that we do cook. Pavle over here is a fast runner, making me think that he might be good for sending out on loot runs. And hello, we got some of that. We got some clean water, and we got some electric parts. I will take the alls of that. Those dudes will continue clearing things out. You will go ahead and loot that over there. But then Marco is also going to be good to send out on those looting runs to try, because I think he can get some very good loot from the stuff that he's doing. And we do have a good amount of like whatchamacall, materials that we've gotten through a little bit of this, so we might be in like semi-decent shape. Hold on, I was gonna say you go over there. Who did I accidentally send? No, Marco, you go back to clearing that. What is you doing, baby? How's the clearing going up there? Going semi-decent, but we also do need to kind of continue unlocking our own home, because as you can see, a lot of these doorways are locked, and we might need, for example, like a crowbar or something to break through that barricaded doorway up in the northern area. I'm just gonna hit grab all on that. But this barricaded doorway up here, for example, that one will most likely need a crowbar. We can clear through some of these scrap, and you guys will, hello, that is very valuable. That's going to be good for trading, which is what I like to see. Let's go ahead and see what we got over there. However, he has arrived here. Don't think he can... Oh, he might actually be able to break through that. Never mind. What do we have here? A little... Oh, that's a morsel of food. It's edible, but more nutritious when cooked. That's what I was talking about. That's why we might want to see if we maybe have the necessary supplies to get some of that stuff cooking. We also have a lockpick, which we could go ahead and actually utilize. He's breaking through some stuff over there. I kind of want you to go ahead and open that. Sorry about the little bit of a burp there. Hey, Mazel Tov, he got through it. And more loot to be had down south. So we're being very productive on this first day with just kind of getting our own stuff and making sure things are kind of popping off properly, and that we hopefully have a solid foundation of loot to roll with. And I'm just trying to make these guys as productive as possible and make sure that, you know, they're always doing something. But you guys will see the other portion of this game, which is kind of like those loot runs, which are kind of a very big portion as well. But very much so, I hope that you guys are enjoying this. It's definitely a survival experience and a survival adventure. And ooh, this guy over here is slightly sick. Maybe if we could build a bed, that might be able to help him out. But why don't we send you, Pavle, over there? Because there's not really much else to loot. Actually, I guess I could. Nah, we got to open a lockpick that way. That's not worth it. Yeah, I'll just send you back down to the shop. Can you open that? Hello? Okay. Oh, it was open. I'm sorry. I just closed it on myself. I'm a dingus. Let's go and start clearing out some of that scrap. And you, my friend, need to clear out some of that scrap. And there's like 2 over there on the left to clear out, 1 over there on the right. I kind of want to save our lockpick for that one on the left. I feel like there might be some good stuff there. But okie dokie. So here's some of those beds that we could craft up. And I do think that I want to get one going that might help us maybe for the sick people get their fever under control. So let's definitely make one bed. And you guys can see that we can actually choose where we want these beds to be put down as well. So I suppose we could have one over in this room. This seems like a pretty nifty little bedroom. Let's just go ahead and place that down. And he will go and start constructing it. And that is where the base building and base improvement aspect of the game comes into play as well. And the reason, I don't think we could go out and loot things quite yet. We need to end the day first, because during the daytime there's obviously this whole war ravaging around, and during the day it's a lot more active and you need to be a lot more cautious about it. I'd love to lockpick that, but I'm telling you, I got a good feeling that lockpick over there is gonna have better stuff, because it's behind 2 piles of rubble, not 1, 2 piles of the rubble. And maybe once this guy finishes clearing stuff up, I might send him to open up that doorway, because like I'm saying, I'm just trying to be as productive as possible, micromanage these guys and make sure that they're doing something good. Pavle is slightly sick, so as you guys can see, putting him in bed is a very good way of allowing him to recover. Over here, Marco is slightly wounded. We might want to try and get him some heals or something along those lines. And yeah, he'll continue resting. We could potentially build some more stuff up, but for now, I think we're good. Let's just continue breaking through this stuff. And then we might still have a little bit more time, and maybe we could build up like one more thing with some of the loot that we got. We could also look through our things here. And our shelter is one depressingly ugly ruin. We should do something about it. It's a work in progress, man. Apparently someone wants some cigarillos. So we have breaches in the walls. Our shelter is not safe, and we have to constantly be on guard. Hopefully we could go ahead and fix up some of those walls, because that's another thing, is that we need to actually get weapons and stuff to defend our base, because at nighttime people can come and raid us. And the ultimate goal of all this as well is to survive as long as we can, because at a certain day, the day is not determined. You don't know what day it's going to be, but after long enough within the game, the war will potentially end, and once it ends, you will have survived. That is kind of like the ultimate goal of all of this. So throughout this, we just got to try to keep our food in check, keep our health in check, and hopefully keep our lives in check and not get too sick or anything like that. Let's go and see if there's anything else worthwhile we might want to build. I think a stove will be a really good investment. I think also some rainwater though. I do think getting some rainwater going. Now, can we put this like on the inside? Is that a thing? Does it need to... Oh yeah, because it kind of like goes outside there. We're all right. Why don't we have it right outside that doorway? Or maybe outside this window. I like outside the window. Let's go and get some of that. So hopefully we could have some solid supply of water coming in. But even then, we're going to need to purify that water as well, making it a little bit of a doozy. How you doing with that sickness, man? I hope you recover. Also, they have little bios and stuff where you could kind of learn a little bit more about them before this whole mess begun. I lived with my wife and son in the better part of the city. I haven't seen them in a long time. I hope they're okay. I'm not doing so well, as you can see. Who needs football players during war? Nobody cares about sports when every day can be their last, so I scavenge the ruins like everyone else, hoping for the best. And that's the thing about this game, man. It's honestly brutal in the reality that it sheds, and it really just kind of puts you in these tough situations where, you know, it's a situation not a lot of people think of, but, you know, like surviving the midst of a war going on. Like, a lot of times when people think survival, they think apocalypse, but dude, I'm just saying, look at what's going on outside of here. This is as apocalyptic as it could realistically get without the end of the world and nukes dropping and stuff. This city is being bombarded. Death is being spread on the freaking daily. It's just so bad. No, you get back to sleep there, buddy boy. I wanted you to click on that. And okay, so we can actually get clean water. Whatchamacallit, takes a little bit, but we got to get a clean air filter or whatever. So I'm going to go back to the bench. I don't think we're going to be able to get there in time, but in the future, what we should be able to do is use that bench, craft up those clean air filters, and then use them in combination with that to benefit. Now, here's what I was talking about at the nighttime and what occurs. So, as you guys can see, each one of these guys, specifically Marco, come with their own backpacks and how many slots they do come with. Now, the problem is Marco is also slightly wounded. That's something we need to keep our eyes on. But what we could do is go ahead and put him into scavenge mode. Pavle, I want him to recover from his sickness, so he will be sleeping in bed. And Bruno, here's the thing. Is the game gonna rob us on the first day? Because if they do, that would be beyond brutal. It'd be awful. I hope not, so I'm gonna let these dudes rest up a little bit. Hopefully catch some sleep. Hopefully we don't get attacked, because if we do, I mean, we don't even have any weapons or anything yet. That's something that we got to try and find. And these are some of the different areas we could loot, and more areas do unlock as well. But here, for example, we have the decrepit squat. It's been inhabited by the homeless since long before the war. They've always been struggling with the lack of food and might not have survived the recent shortages. There shouldn't be a threat, and we could find some useful things there. Huge amounts of materials, some weapons, and lots of parts. Shelled cottage. This neighborhood recently got shelled and many houses are still burning. People are fleeing for their lives in a hurry, so we may find some useful stuff there without meeting anyone. Some food, huge amount of materials, lots of meds, huge amount of weapons, and lots of parts. And then the semi-detached house. Half of it is a ruin, but there are people living in the other half. They don't seem friendly at night. You can sometimes hear shots fired from there. We could probably scour the abandoned part for supplies if we manage to sneak past the inhabited part. Huge amounts of food, lots of meds, huge amounts of weapons, huge amounts of parts in danger. I like this because there's not much danger. A lot of weapons though, a lot of materials, and hopefully some food as well. Some food would be nice, but if we're thinking about food, the semi-detached house will be good to go to down the line. But at the same time, I don't want to go there without a weapon. I want to kind of, know what we're getting ourselves into. So we have herbs and stuff, which we can make into herbal medications and roll up cigarettes. That'll be a pass for me. I won't bring the lockpick. There might be a doorway we could lockpick our way into, for example. I know I want to use the lockpick in our own home, but sometimes you can find it over here as well. We can also eventually find trading camps, I believe, and that's where valuable things such as the jewelry, a valuable bartering item, come into play, and we could get a lot of things in exchange for it. But let's go ahead and begin the scavenging portion of this war of mine in part 1. And well, it's pretty simple. We move around by clicking, we loot by clicking, and hopefully we cross our fingers and get something up in here. Let's go ahead and grab all over there. We got a little teddy bear. Oh, now there's something, oh, that's just a rat. You guys can actually see those like little red circles and stuff. There's also like this whole noise meter in this game, especially during these nighttime portions, does, oh, baby. Okie dokie, I like what we're seeing here. This is a whole ton of stuff that we're getting, ton of wood, ton of all this jazz. I'll definitely pick that up for now, and let's hit that eyeball, because you can actually peer through doorways and see. And that's the thing, there's a lot of stealth mechanics incorporated into this game as well, and that's where kind of dangerous situations like that house that could have more people, that is where it gets really interesting. And looting and stuff, as you guys are seeing, does make noise. Another thing we need to keep our eyes on. Let's freaking go! Okay, hold door, hold a freaking phone too. Hold whatever you want to hold. All right, we're definitely getting all that food. These vegetables, can I just eat these vegetables maybe? I can't eat no goddamn vegetables? Alrighty then, I see how it is. Then definitely let's get this clean water. That might come in handy. Now wood and stuff, I guess we could leave behind a little bit of this material. We could come back for it always. The vegetables, they make a much better meal when cooked with some raw food. That might help us actually cook up some better types of food. Let's continue looting because I got a feeling that there's gonna be something good here. Although, is that a person coming down the stairs or is that just like a rat scuttling on down? I mean, it looks like that's just a rat scuttling. That's the thing, dude, with those little red circles with the whole stealth mechanics. The rats are just the part of it, and the rats can really throw you off, and I don't know if I'm gonna pick up one clean water. That might be a pass from me for now. I want to prioritize and get all the most valuable loot we can. And number one, ooh, herbal meds. Okay, medication. There might be some more valuable stuff we gotta leave behind than I thought, because we gotta pick up even more valuable stuff. Let's make our way upstairs. Let's see where this goes. There is a lockpick actually that we could use. And that's why I brought the lockpick, because sometimes you can find doorways throughout these scavenging runs as well, where it could come in handy. That's just a ton of materials, which we could be able to come back and get any day. Is it worth picking the lock into this? Honestly, YOLO. Let's use the lockpick. Maybe that dresser over there might come loaded with some really good loot. Because it said somewhere that there's weapons here, and I want to get to the bottom of the weaponry. We can actually examine something here. One of the flyers dropped on the city. It reads, "This is a zone of anti-terrorist operation. Persons remaining in the city will be treated as terrorist supporters." Oh, that's not good. For your own and your family's safety, leave Pogoren immediately. The army guarantees you a safe passage. Not many believed them after the atrocities they had committed, so it appears that some of those people at war are not the nicest of people, and they're kind of like evil. Absolutely evil. And oh, we could stack up the teddy bears. A lot of joy. It's brought a lot of joy. I don't really know what the teddy bear is gonna do. Who knows? It might come in handy down the line. There better be something good in here, dude. I used a lockpick for this, okay? I better be coming home with some dandy loot. And okay, weapon parts. That's pretty dandy. That is handy dandy. Oh, dude, we actually got some really valuable stuff. I hate that I'm leaving behind a good amount of this stuff, but honestly, I think we still have a decent amount of materials back at home. And there's some very valuable stuff over here that I'm seeing, so don't mind me while I try and prioritize just a little bit. What was that noise? Someone coming in my house? In my house that I have claimed as mine within the last like 20 seconds or so? No? Yeah, dang right, stay out. But this is the problem that happens, man. You come into these situations where it's like, what do I drop? What do I leave behind? And honestly, the teddy bear, I'm gonna leave the teddy bear behind. That fertilizer might come in handy, especially if we start trying to like grow our own stuff. But so Marco, let's just continue going our way. And dude, I'm just constantly scared because I feel like we might encounter more people, you know? I don't want to encounter more people. That's a hard nope from me. Let's try to make our way down though and see if maybe this leads to anything. You guys can see like our area of effect and like what we see also expands as well. I can make my way through this pile. All right, let's dig through this pile. And that's the thing too with a lot of this stuff, you kind of need to be very active in thinking through it. Because for example, here as you guys can see, we are kind of going through a lot of time. And that's the thing, every action takes time. And by the time that timer is up that you guys see filling up, we skedaddle on out of here. We can no longer stick around. So we kind of need to prioritize properly, know what we're doing. That better not be a freaking person, dude. Is that a rat? Please be a rat. Dude, I don't know, I'm always sketched out by that. I know we've seen a couple of rats here or there, but I don't know. I feel like if that was a person, he'd be coming down here investigating like, what's that noise down in the basement? I don't know what that noise is. You guys could see that noise emanating as those like kind of radial waves coming out from us. So there's like really a lot of intricacies in this game to just make it like a really unorthodox survival game, I should say. Like when people think survival games, I don't think they think of this, but without a doubt, this is about as survival as you could get. Like it's a little bit different from the open world many people are used to when they think survival games, but I don't know, man, I like it. It's a unique twist on it. I loved playing it back in the day, and I'm more than happy to hop back into it and hopefully have a marvelous survival journey again. Because last time, it was a little bit of a rocky road at times. I think like even a new DLC came out for the game too we could try and check out. But let's go and see what we got in this little area. The door is locked and we don't have any lockpicks, so that is a no ski doodle from me, unfortunately. Over here we just got some more wood and stuff, and I believe that about does it for what we have gotten from this place. Now here's the thing as well though, you can return to these areas and oh, that appears to be a dead person. Actually, that might be a soldier. Oh, if we could dig to the other, oh dude, if we could get to the other side of this, and that's the thing, if only I had some kind of shovel. Shovel is actually a type of item you can have and you can bring along for these looting runs that can expedite the process of digging through things like this. But if that's a soldier, he might have some guns on him, in which case we might need to leave some more stuff behind and go home even richer than I thought we'd be going. But that's the thing too with a lot of these locations, is that they could actually progress and new things can happen in a lot of these areas, because as we continue going through each day, like I said, new areas and new zones will unlock that we could potentially go to with our single loot run per night. But on the other hand, some of these older areas, they do stick around and they actually progress, and sometimes like you could even see a little bit of a story unfold where, for example, like maybe a person appears or like some kind of event has occurred, maybe like the roof is collapsed. Like it's more dynamic than just always being the same zone, which is why I really like it, because it kind of like keeps you on your toes and gives you a reason to revisit areas, especially as they kind of progress. But all right, dude, we're running a little bit low on time here. The exit's gonna be right there, which is the nifty thing, but por favor here, can we get to this body now? I want the loots, please. Thank you. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Give me something good. Give me something good. I know you want to. Oh, baby, baby. More weapon parts, more electronic components, more of the gears. I'm gonna leave behind some wood and stuff because we have way more valuable stuff to be picking up. We got some more veggies we could bring, a roll-up cigarette, some coffee. Ooh, that's actually a valuable commodity. We got books. They could be used as fuel, actually. So, honestly, at this point, we have so much loot. I feel like the power move might just be trying to come back here and get in the rest of this stuff another time, because I'll grab that. I'll grab the coffee. That gives us a couple of decent things. The electric part we could come back for. But all in all, I think this has been a very successful looting run, and let's go ahead and call it there. Marco is back, and day 2 shall begin to unfold. And as day 2 kicks off, we should get a little bit of a status update, see if our base has, for example, been broken into, any of that type of jazz. Hopefully, nothing too bad has happened. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Tonight I had a really good haul. Look what I got. Yeah, baby, the night was calm. So this is that screen that I was talking about that kind of gives you a little bit of an update and what happened in the prior nights. Marco has been searching for supplies and brought some interesting things. Yeah, he did. But with that, we have another day of potential upgrading, potential digging through stuff. This fellow over here slept poorly. This dude is hungry, but he's a little bit better, so I think we might try and reorganize things. You, my buddy, go and get some sleep in you. We got to get that chef. He's got to get the chef in a little bit. That's the thing, is you go out for loot runs and stuff, you might not want to send them out too much because they could get wounded, tired, all that type of jazz. So a couple of these dudes might want to get some quality sleep. And actually, I feel like he might want some sleep. You just slept poorly. You'll get the bed tonight. You'll have guard duty. We haven't found any weapons. We have found weapon components, which we should be able to do stuff with, and hopefully we could use a lot of those. I think we want to get the better workbench, which might allow us to actually start crafting stuff up, which would be ideal. That bad boy right there allows us to make tools and knives for self-defense. Later, we could use it to build more advanced tools or even repair firearms. And we could even upgrade this workbench, for example, where it enables the manufacture of more sophisticated items and appliances, providing us with more options to get food or meds and trade goods. We can upgrade it further to make electrical improvements as well. So scavenging, because of like your loot limitations and time limitations, kind of starts to encompass all these different priorities, such as, for example, I want to get some of these resources to build some stuff up, or do we get food, or do we get water, do we get meds? That's where the tough decisions start coming into play, and I don't know, man, it's just a ton of fun. But with that said, with that done, that's going to end it off for today's episode of This War of Mine and day 1 of our survival in this harsh and brutal land. If you guys want to see more, definitely let me know by hitting that like button and saying so down below. Not to mention being subscribed to stay up to date with more videos of this and other survival game varieties. I got a huge thank you to Discord for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. If you guys haven't already, like I said, that link at the very tippity top of the description will take you to the Discord Nitro store, where you can go ahead and subscribe to Discord Nitro Nitro, which is an awesome way of getting your hands on this War of Mine, along with 75 plus game titles, all available for $9.99 a month, with new content dropping every single month, and Nitro subscribers getting $1,000 worth of games throughout it all, with these Nitro games now being available worldwide. So again, huge thank you to them. Go ahead and check that jazz out. But with that said, with that done, that's gonna end it off for me for now. Thank you guys a whole ton for watching. Have yourselves an awesome one. I'll talk to you next one. See ya.